How y'all doing? This is Big Swoll Ranger Thornton, and I was just doing a podcast with somebody, and they brought up a fact. Let me ask you a question. When I was with No Limit and the No Limit Soldiers and World Championship Wrestling, we got hated on. I mean, people was throwing batteries at us. We had to get police escort. Um, Rappers crap thing took off real big, and people just hated the No Limit Soldiers. And I never forget, one day I got a phone call from Dusty Rose, who's our promoter for WCW. And he called, he said, "Randy, we got a problem." I said, "What's the problem?" He said, "The No Limit Soldiers are turning into heels, and the West Texas Rednecks are turning to good guys." And he said, "We got a problem with that." He said, "We're gonna fly you to Atlanta. We're gonna let the West Texas Redneck just beat the crap out of you, but you're gonna win Bass at the Beach." He said, "We have to make people hate the West Texas Rednecks." I said, "Cool." So that went on, and things happened I just don't want to talk about no more with the No Limit Soldiers and Master P and blah blah blah. But when we was at WCW and we being hated on, I never forget watching WWE, WWF, whatever you want to call it. And I never forget the first time I seen this white guy named John Cena. He comes out with fatigue pants on, Adidas shoes, and let me fix my thing. He comes out there with Adidas shoes, fatigues, gold chain, medallions, and people are loving this dude. They're going crazy over his gimmick. They're going crazy over his hip hop. They're like, well, fuck. That's the same thing we was doing. I was doing the same thing. And people hate me because I was doing hip hop. And people love this person because they're doing the same gimmick. The exact same gimmick that the No Limit Soldiers are doing. They're doing the WWE with another person. Never understood that. And I've had people ask me, all the time, why I hate Andre the Giant, why I hate Hulk Hogan, and why I hate Ric Flair. And I tell you, it's no secret. When I was in Japan, there's a guy who's working at the dojo, old Japanese guy, and he drove the tour bus for the wrestlers, and he was telling me how Andre the Giant was telling nigger jokes. He always tell jokes about black people. And one day, this guy by the name of Bad News Brown told Andre the Giant to stop saying black jokes. And Andre the Giant got mad. And people got mad when Bad News Brown was a bad dude in real life. He was a judo master. Guy was dangerous. And he told the bus driver, pull over, and told Andre the Giant to get off the bus. And everybody told Andre the Giant, don't get off the bus. If you get off, he's going to hurt you. And Andre the Giant punk ass stayed on the bus because he knew that Bad News Brown was about to whip his ass. And he wouldn't set his ass down. And that's why I don't like Andre the Giant, because so many people told me that he was, a racist. And the reason I don't like Hulk Hogan, because that punk bitch is also a racist. Hulk Hogan only like black people if he can make money with them and he can use him. And I seen him on his reality TV show, and his daughter was dating a black guy, and he's talking, you dating a nigga. I'd rather date a 8-foot nigga because he can make you a millionaire in basketball. And when we was backstage in WCW, he was so arrogant and so cocky. He walked around like he was prima donna. And I never liked the dude, I never liked Hulk Hogan. And another person I really dislike, I hate Ric Flair. Ric Flair dogged us out with WCW. I remember he was in the locker room next to mine, and he was saying why why they have these black asses here. We don't need them. He was saying some real racist shit, and he didn't know I was in the locker room next to him. And every time I seen that motherfucker, I just want to slap the fuck out of him. I want to take my gun and pistol whip his ass. Because people got to remember, this wrestling shit is fake. I'm real. I'm street. I'm talking about, there was one time, I want to walk up to Ric Flair's, slap the fuck out of him because the shit he was saying. And, I just didn't like it, and, I got into the wrestling industry because when I was at U of H, Big Cat Ernie Ladd was coaching at Southern University, and he the person that got me into professional wrestling was Big Cat Ernie Ladd. And I wish people just sit back and think, why so many wrestlers, it was so hard to get over. Now that I watch this professional wrestling, and black wrestlers have come such a long way. And I can't believe WWE, have black main characters, black champions and stuff like that. I'm dumbfounded. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought I'd never see that. Really, I thought I'd never see it. And everybody said The Rock, yeah, The Rock, but light-skinned nigga, shit, Well, we really don't consider him black. He's Samoan. We really don't consider him black. And, but when I was a little boy, we looked up to Junkyard Dog. Junkyard Dog was our favorite, especially in New Orleans, especially down south, mid-south. Junkyard Dog was the shit. Junkyard Dog was bigger than Ric Flair. Junkyard Dog was bigger than Hulk Hogan when I was a little boy. He was the shit. And P was playing for Hornets. We was doing a concert in North Carolina. I can't forget which one. But I remember it was Friday night, and we had off. And some guys were saying, well, Junkyard Dog is wrestling, not at this town next to us. I said, okay. So we go see him, and he's wrestling at a used car lot. A used car lot. And I'm like, there's no way in the world Junkyard Dog is wrestling here. And we had our No Limit medallions on, and everybody knew Master P was in town. And so they let us backstage. We go back there, and Junkyard Dog came out from the ring, sweating, and I know he looked at old, he looked at real old. And I told him I was one of his biggest fans, and and I usually don't ask you for autographs, and I just want to shake your hand and all that. And Junkyard Dog said, "Can you do me a favor?" I said, "What?" He said, "Can you leave me $100?" I said, "What? Can you give me $100?" So I gave Junkyard Dog $100. He took the money out of my hand and walked over and gave the money to this young dude. And the promoter said, Randy, you know why he did that? I said, why? He said, this morning Junkyard Dog smoked $300 worth of crack. The guys come here to kill his ass. They want their money. And he was $100 short. And I just couldn't believe my idol, Junkyard Dog, was a crackhead. And I mean, people, I was floored. I was just floored when I seen Junkyard Dog, you know, and found out he was on crack. This killed me, you know, and just amazed. And just to get back with the John Cena thing, to this day, I still sit down and think, you know, why did we get promoted like that? And all that. You know, I hear people say, oh, Swoll should have went to wrestling school and all that. For people who just don't do their research, you don't know. I went 2 years of wrestling school in Plymouth, Minnesota. I was trained under Brad Riggins. I knew how to wrestle, but I just didn't want to do that type of wrestling. The type of wrestling I wanted to do was like Stan Hansen, you know, Big Cat and the Lad. That's the kind of wrestling. I ain't want to walk no tight ropes and do all the goddamn flips and all that kind of shit. Wasn't my style. Never wanted to do it. Never did any, even in wrestling school. Never wanted to do it. And you know, I just came. You know, I just sit here. Every time I see John Cena, I just think, oh man, you know, he took the No Limit Soldier gimmick and he ran with it, and people loved it. You know, when I was doing the No Limit Soldier gimmick, you know, I was called every name in the book. We had to get police escorts, people throwing batteries at us, all kind of shit. John Cena comes behind me, do the same exact thing. He becomes a mega star. I mean, big time. Like I said, the gold chain, the fatigues, the hat, the saluting. He wasn't saluting people for military. He was saluting because the No Limit Soldiers did. We did that. You know, but you know, it's all good, you know, but hey, you know, I can't tell nobody what to do with their career, but he ran with it. And you know, it's a whole bunch of stuff that, you know, people just don't know about wrestling industry. They'll piss you off. It's just like the story I have about what's his name? Jesse the Body Ventura. When I was in wrestling school, Jesse came to a school because he trained with Brad Riggins a lot. You know, never forget, he came and he said, Randy, man, last night I was thinking, I got the perfect name for you. I said, what, Jesse? He said, we're going to call you the Big Black Buckwheat. And I was like, what? We're going to name you the Big Black Buckwheat, and you're going to talk like, here I is, and all that shit like buckwheat talk. And I'll never forget, I looked at Jesse Ventura and said, have you lost your fucking mind? Are you crazy? And his exact words to me was, you want to be rich? Or do you want to be a no-name? I said, I'd rather be a no-name. I'm not letting nobody call me, you know, fucking Big Bad Buckwheat. I said, like, are you fucking kidding me? And I stopped liking Jesse, you know, that day, because, you know, these guys, that's just the way it was. Now, Animal, you know, because Animal and Hulk also trained at the same school. Rick Robinson, Rick Rude, Kurt Hennig, they all would come to school and train. And all of them was cool. All of them were real nice. All great guys. But, you know, people I looked up as a kid, I looked up to, like I said, you know, Junkyard Dog, Pochap Cash, Thunderbolt Patterson, Ray Candy, Big Cat Ernie Ladd, Stan Hansen. Stan Hansen was a man. And this is one thing people always ask me, and This is an honest, true story. When we joined No Limit, P sent me to Atlanta to get the team together. So I go into this meeting and I tell them, I said, the first person I want to hire is New Jack for the original Gangsters. And I remember all these guys, all the promoters and writers looking at me and saying, no, Randy, you can't have New Jack. And I'm like, why? They said, he's a liability. I said, what do you mean he's a liability? This is wrestling. They said, no, he's really hurting people. And we can't have New Jack in WCW. And I was like, wow. You told me I could have whoever I wanted. And I told you who I wanted. You tell me no. And I never forget, I told him, New Jack came up to me in Atlanta and he asked me about it. I said, yeah, it's true. I said, man, we want you to be a No Limit Soldier real bad. They told me we couldn't have you. And New Jack got pissed. He was mad, and there's some videos about him right now talk about how he approached Kevin Nash and them and was telling them how, he didn't mess with them because they would let him become a No Limit Soldier when he was at WCW. And he has his reason to be mad. And for those who don't know, he just passed away. He was a real good friend, real good kid. I liked him. Real nice guy. And I want to say hello to one of my tank dogs from No Limit, Mac, the camouflage assassin. He just got released from prison for a crime he did not commit. This is first-hand knowledge. He did not commit the crime. Somebody in his clique did, but he didn't. He didn't do it. And being part of No Limit was great for me. I had a good time, and as you can see, I still got my No Limit tank, and I got my No Limit tank on my chest, which when God permits, I get it taken off. It just don't look good when you have a big zipper from open heart surgery with a tank. It doesn't look good. But I just want to tell everybody about, people. I had to address because people always talking about, why you hate Hulk Hogan? Why you hate Andre the Giant? Why you hate Ric Flair? And that's the truth, And do I hate John Cena? Hell no. I'm a John Cena fan. It's just kind of funny that he runs with our gimmick, He become a major star. Well, we get booed and spit on and kicked on and batters being thrown at us. So, it's just, it's one of the things. People want the white No Limit Soldier, and they got it.